Welcome back to Alpha Recap, recorded after market close. We're breaking down Friday's tape and the headlines that mattered. As always, if you have questions, you can reach us at stockalpha.ai.
Good to be here. Lots to unpack, from single stock moves to broader themes like AI and health tech.
So, let's start with the big day for the chip space. Intel had a nice bounce.
Right. Intel finished the day up 4.7% after a big intraday rally.
It closed at $61.72 on about 154 million shares, which is a heavy print.
Elevated volume like that tends to suggest institutional participation, or at least heavier liquidity than usual. Analysts noted it would affect option premiums and draw momentum traders.
When you step back and look at this, big volume rallies can either be the start of a trend or a one-day squeeze. The follow-through next week matters.
Exactly. Momentum players will be watching whether price holds above the intraday gains. If funds keep it up, ETFs and options flows could accelerate the move.
Quick shout, that was one of the most actively traded names on the session. Big move.
Switching gears. Small cap headline. Erayak Power also had a big re-rate after announcing a strategic pivot to target the U.S. market.
Yeah, that one popped as traders repriced total addressable market and potential U.S. access. But pivots like that bring a lot of execution risk. Regulatory, distribution, competition.
Analysts flagged that too. Until management files more details or announces partners, that stock can stay headline-driven and volatile.
Right. And the other thing is, pivots promise upside, but they also invite skepticism. Re-rate now, volatility later.
Retail attention was another story. Amazon surged in search interest on Google Trends.
We saw about 10,000 searches, up 75%. That's a big jump in retail focus.
That kind of search spike usually precedes higher options activity and speculative flows, so it can amplify intraday volatility.
Yeah, that tracks.
So, what really stands out here is the two-way market dynamic we saw. Institutional-led volume on one side and retail-driven noise on the other.
That dual liquidity regime is a theme we'll come back to.
Let's pivot to the thematic stuff. AI and health tech kept showing up across several items.
Truist reiterated its rating on Salesforce and emphasized AI growth as central to the thesis. Analysts are still calling AI-driven adoption a sustained demand driver for enterprise software.
And that's not just software. We had Jetstream Venture Fund closing positions in a couple of startups while explicitly expanding health tech and AI exposure.
So, honestly, I was a bit surprised by the breadth. Data partnerships, clinical collaborations, venture allocations. It really shows AI as a cross-cutting enabler.
Emporia Research partnered with Definitive Healthcare to improve participant targeting for recruitment. That's an operational upgrade that can make trials and research more efficient.
And Pendulum Therapeutics expanded a clinical collaboration with Mayo Clinic to explore microbiome interventions for women's health and dermatology. That's academic validation in clinical stage biotech.
Which matters because clinical collaborations can be the difference between a narrative and demonstrable progress. Outcomes are still binary in many biotech cases, though.
Analysts note that these moves, data partnerships, AI tooling, academic tie-ins, create a pipeline of potential product and revenue catalysts. But timelines can be long and uncertain.
Right. Venture allocators like Jetstream are trying to give retail access to earlier stage innovation through interval structures. But that comes with liquidity trade-offs.
Short reaction, not what anyone expected.
On the small cap front, Friday had some sharp volatility and legal headlines to note.
BMNU dropped about 3.6% to $1.99 on about 125 million shares. Heavy turnover and selling pressure. Not a great day for that name.
And there's a legal timeline for Oddity Tech. Faruqi and Faruqi reminded investors that the securities class action deadline is May 11, 2026, for certain purchase windows.
Those legal deadlines and big volume prints create asymmetric volatility. Analysts said traders should expect episodic spikes tied to filings or notices.
Event-driven small-cap risk can be very non-linear. A single filing or court notice can move a name far more than fundamentals justify in the short term.
Quick note on distribution. Finance Buzz announced its 2026 Best of Investing Awards for brokerages and robo-advisors.
Not a market mover by itself, but awards can shift retail flows over time, as consumers switch platforms or jump on promotions tied to winners.
Right, and combined with the Google Trends jump for Amazon and elevated option interest, platform-level shifts can accelerate retail-driven volatility in large cap.
Let's run through the rapid-fire snapshots from Friday so listeners have the key numbers.
Intel up 4.7% to $61.72 on about 154 million shares.
BMNU down about 3.6% to $1.99 on about 126 million shares.
Amazon had about 10,000 Google searches, a jump of 75% in search interest.
Salesforce got a rating reiteration from Truist on the AI outlook. Erayak pivoted toward the U.S., prompting a re-rate. Watch filings.
Emporia Research teamed with Definitive Healthcare. Pendulum expanded collaboration with Mayo Clinic. And Jetstream moved into HealthTech and AI via some fund position changes.
Don't forget the Oddity Tech class action deadline, May 11th, 2026. And that legal timelines often create heightened news flow.
So, what should traders and allocators be framing heading into next week?
Momentum traders will be watching whether Intel's volume and price action hold. Follow-through would suggest institutional commitment rather than a one-day pop.
Retail metrics like Google Trends often presage spikes in options open interest and short-term volume. If the company posts any headline, that retail focus can magnify moves fast.
For HealthTech and AI, people are treating updates as ecosystem signals. Data providers enabling research firms, clinical partnerships boosting credibility for venture allocators.
And for small caps, watch legal notices and filings closely. A court date or new filing can generate messy, fast volatility.
What to watch tomorrow? Follow through on Intel, Erayak filings or partner announcements, Amazon headlines and any trend updates, Salesforce commentary on AI adoption, and biotech operational disclosures from Pendulum or Emporia.
Also check Jetstream's NAV updates or disclosures. Interval funds can drip out information that changes sentiment on the startups they're involved with.
Bottom line. Friday combined clear single-stock moves with reinforcing thematic news. AI and health tech kept attracting capital, while retail attention and legal or liquidity dynamics created pockets of elevated volatility.
Analysts noted the distinction between narrative-driven re-rates, like Erayak's pivot, and fundamental confirming updates, such as clinical endpoints, filings, or contract wins.
So, to wrap up, clear takeaways?
1. Watch whether Intel's volume holds. That will tell you if institutions are committing or if it was a short-term momentum move.
2. Retail attention metrics matter. The Amazon search spike could translate into options and volume flows, which raises intraday sensitivity to headlines.
3. In health tech and AI, partnerships and venture moves are building an ecosystem. That's promising for long-term innovation, but timelines and outcomes are uncertain.
4. For small caps, legal deadlines and heavy turnover are the primary volatility drivers. Keep an eye on filings and court notices.
Final quick reactions. Yeah, that was a full Friday. If you want to dig deeper or ask about anything we covered today, head to stockalpha.ai. You can ask us directly through the Q&A feature, and we'll answer live. For more market analysis and insights, visit stockalpha.ai.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back after the next close with more flow and theme notes.
Take care. See you next time.